Every woman's dream is to get pregnant and have their own babies.
Is it a must?
It's not a must at all. But we all know the peculiar environment that we're in, especially in Africa, because I would not say Nigeria. The minute you get married, after 6 months, everybody starts looking, are we having a baby bump?
Absolutely.
Is it, it's almost like that's the reason why you got married. That's our culture. Surrogacy is a very simple process. When we're talking about surrogacy in the area of reproductive medicine, you're talking about engaging a healthy female adult to carry a baby on behalf of a couple that are looking to complete their family.
Welcome to another super amazing edition of the LHC Pod. Here we inspire elevated living. My name is Emmanuel, and of course I have my co-host with me, a very troublesome person, I would say, if you have experienced her behind cameras. Don't take whatever you see on cameras for truth or reality. Again, we have Lola in the house today. Hey, Lola, what's up?
It's Lola
Lola,
just one note.
Lola or
Just one
Lola?
note. Since you've decided to take this online,
Is
you're
it
going to
Lola
pay me for this
or,
free.
Is it Lola or Lola?
Anyone, but you're
No,
going
it
to pay
can't
me
be
for
anyone.
the free PR. Seriously,
No, you're a Yoruba lady. Is it Lola or Lola?
online. I'm international. Let's say it like that.
All right.
Hi,
all right.
everyone.
You have a glimpse of her already, right? So, but first of all, chop knuckle. Yes.
Really?
Baby. What do you have for us today?
Today, as always, wonderful topic, and this topic is going to resonate with a lot of people.
Including me?
Well, it depends. It depends. But yes, in a sense. Because if you have someone that's dear to you, definitely, yes. So today we're talking about surrogacy. And surrogacy.
Okay.
Surrogacy.
Surrogacy.
Yes. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
that? Such a high sounding.
Yes. Well, it's not as complicated as it sounds, or it might be, depending on what our guest thinks about it.
Okay.
Speaking of our guests, probably the best person to talk about this topic today.
Eh,
So we have with us Mrs. Abiola Adeusi, the director of MedBan, and she's here with us as an expert to talk to us about surrogacy. You're so welcome, ma'am.
Putting my hands
Thanks for having
Put your
me.
hands together for
Yay.
her, man. Thank you for,
Thank you for
gracing
coming.
us
Yeah.
with your presence.
Thank
We
you.
Really, really appreciate you for coming.
Yes.
So I just asked her. Word sounds very big, but I know that she's not the right person to break it down. You are the right person to break it down for us. So I would ask you, when we say surrogacy spectrum, what are we referring to?
Thank you very much. And first of all, thanks for having me here. It's actually a pleasure to be here and to be talking about a subject that is very pertinent and is the crux of the business that I'm in. Surrogacy is a very simple process. Simple in the sense that it's just one aspect of fertility treatment. So when we're talking about surrogacy, in the area of reproductive medicine, you're talking about engaging a healthy female adult to carry a baby on behalf of a couple that are looking to complete their family and otherwise couldn't do it on their own due to one reason or another, but purely medical. That's what surrogacy is all about. Now, there are different types of surrogacy. There is traditional surrogacy and there is gestational surrogacy. Traditional surrogacy is one of the old, it's gone dated to biblical days, where a woman will use her own egg, but the husband of another woman to get pregnant and have the baby. So the DNA of the baby and the surrogate are kind of the same. So the surrogate is actually the one producing the egg to make the baby. That's traditional surrogacy. Now, gestational surrogacy is what we practitioners practitioners use because we like to separate the two or the three from each other. So the surrogate will be engaged just to carry the embryo that belongs to the patient, the husband and the wife. So that's gestational surrogacy, and that's what we practice. So we don't do traditional because of the complexities, the technicalities, the legalities that is involved. So it's very, very clear that gestational surrogacy is just having a healthy female who is willingly wanting to help a couple that otherwise cannot do it by themselves, because every woman's dream is to get pregnant and have their own babies.
Studio is silent. Yes. Well, let's break it down. My next question would be that there is a whole lot of conversation out there concerning this in recent times, and influencers are jumping at it. We have people all talking about it. So it's becoming a trending topic out there, which is good one way or the other, which is that people are now beginning to understand that they have an option where they think that there is none, right? The first question I would ask is, are people being pressured? Is it a must that you need to be able to, have a kid? I know your last statement, you said that every woman dreams of being pregnant and have their own kid on their own, and where there is none, but is it a must?
Thank you very much for the question. It's not a must. It's not a must at all, because it's an individual decision. So someone may come and say, well, if I have a child, fine. If I don't, it's okay. I'm able to live with it. But we all know the peculiar environment that we're in, especially in Africa, because I would not say Nigeria. The minute you get married, after 6 months, everybody starts looking, are we having a baby bump?
Absolutely.
Is it, it's almost like that's the reason why you got married. That's our culture.
They just call you and say, I just want to check up on you.
Exactly.
Are you, I hope you are fine.
Is honeymoon over? Are you back from honeymoon? It's almost like a requirement,
Right.
and, even your parents will stylishly, tell you, hey, honeymoon is over. You need to start,
what are you guys doing?
because it's good. And, the reason why, and, now that I'm looking at it, based on our cultural background, they're actually looking at it in a very, very realistic way. Why? Because a woman's age tells on the reproductive system. Even if the woman looks young, the reproductive system is aging by the day. So the older you get, the more difficult it is to be able to conveniently just sleep and wake up and procreate. Because according to nature, it's even 1 out of 4 chances of you trying and not knowing. So it's not every time you try to get pregnant that you get pregnant. So age is a major factor. To have a baby. So if you're planning to have one, it's better you do it sooner rather than later, to be honest. It's better to just get it over with, and then you can continue your honeymoon later. Just because the highest fertility time span in a woman is in her 20s.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Whether you like it or not, it has been scientifically proven that a woman is born with whatever egg she's going to have in her entire life. And the peak of her fertility is in her 20s. So when you're 30s, 40s, you need to hop on it. It's not something that you just, waste time on.
So making the case for surrogacy, then, if we want to tie it to what you just said, do we say then that it's an option because the chances are reducing as a woman ages?
Absolutely not. Surrogacy option does not have anything to do with aging.
Okay.
It has to do with the capability of a woman being able to carry the pregnancy on her own or not. So there's different reasons, so many different reasons why a woman cannot carry pregnancy on her own.
Okay, please share.
So number one, it could be that the woman was born like that. It's called congenital anomaly, where you're born and the womb is just too small and it never just got as big enough to be able to carry a viable pregnancy. Yeah, some people are like that. It could be because of a medical condition. For instance, I've had treated patients in the past that had lupus. So it's a debilitating medical condition that does not want pregnancy in your system. It can be fertile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. We have those. And we have some that have suffered from let me use the word, probably from surgery, past surgery, maybe from the doctor wanted to remove the fibroid and inadvertently get the area where the baby is supposed to implant. So in a womb, there is this luscious area that the embryos implant. After they've communicated with each other in the tube, they would come and implant into that space. That space is called endometrium. If that endometrium is compromised, it'll be very difficult to have pregnancy. So it's called adhesion. So if it adheres together, and that's where menses comes up, comes, goes. It's kind of like it builds up, goes down, builds up, goes down. But if you have a problem and there's adhesions and your menses is like either very scanty or non-existent, it's going to be very difficult because there is no fertile ground for the embryos to grow. So if you've tried to get pregnant severally and even tried IVF, assisted reproductive technology, and you're not getting pregnant because the endometrial lining is not really doing what it's supposed to do, you will be a candidate to consider surrogacy.
If surrogacy is this important based on the elements that you have highlighted in our conversation so far, why do we have stigmatization in our society when people, even by hearing, hey, you do surrogacy, why do we have that? Is it ignorance? Is what is fueling that?
Okay, I wouldn't particularly say ignorance because that's kind of heavy, because we have some educated and well-read, even doctors that do not believe in surrogacy because they feel you're trying to play God.
So that speaks to the ethical concerns.
And maybe religious as well.
Yeah. So what I can say is that the stigmatization in surrogacy is not only in surrogacy, even in ART. They say assisted reproductive technology. So surrogacy cannot happen without ART. Surrogacy is a sub of assisted reproductive technology. So if I say ART, it's the art of making baby, assisted reproductive
See what you did there.
technology.
Okay, nice,
So now the stigmatization is because of our culture. The traditional way of having baby is to sleep with your husband, wake up and be pregnant.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So if you try to coin another scientific way of making that happen, assisted reproduction, then people start to ask questions. Is the baby normal? Is that, what they're doing? Is it even proper? Are they supposed to do it? Why are they forcing it? If you're not having a baby, then that's the way God wants it. But they don't remember that it's God that gave the doctors and the experts the knowledge to be able to treat patients. So this is a medical condition that even the World Health Organization already accepted and has coined to be a disease. So if
Right.
you're not having a baby, you're considered to have a disease that needs to be cured by the doctor.
Wow.
And these are the solutions that the doctor is preferring. So based on what you present with, the doctor can say, okay, after you've had so many failed IVF cycles, you can explore this option because that might be the last resort for you to try.
Okay.
So why are people saying it's not okay? Because it's still part of the treatment process.
So to your point, if it's considered a disease, maybe that's where a lot of people miss it because they feel, oh, you shouldn't try to treat it. But we try to treat other things like malaria, and so on, or even contagious diseases. So why
Yes.
should this be treated differently?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly my point.
So speaking to that then, what would you say are the benefits of keying into this as a form of treatment, into surrogacy, for example? What would you say the benefits are?
The benefits are enormous. Keying
Okay.
into surrogacy gives you the opportunity to be able to achieve your dream as a parent, as a
Okay.
mother. Surrogacy is practiced worldwide. Surrogacy in some countries are illegal. Surrogacy in most countries is accepted, but they want it to be altruistic. Altruistic meaning that you don't want it to be commercialized. Okay? Because they don't believe if you're given a gift of life, you should, have payment attached to it. But we all know that the surrogates are sacrificing a lot. They may not even be able to go to work. They will have to adjust their lifestyle for that period of time that they're going through the surrogacy process. So they need to be taken care of, whether we like it or not. So if they're doing it for altruistic reasons, they have to be catered for. They cannot come and bring their money to be able to attend to other person's matter. You understand what I mean? So
Yes,
somehow
yes.
they have to be taken care of.
Somehow they have to be taken care of. Nice conversation. I think there's so much that I'm, taking in as we're having this conversation, which is why the LHC podcast was set up, just so that we can shed lights on topics like this and to be able to educate people on different topics that affects humans and then the society.
Yep, absolutely.
Our conversations and the explanations given so far are valid, right? But again, recently we've had people come out to say they're going to take on surrogacy. Sometimes influencers in our society. We're not going to mention names, but we're going to look at the arguments from both sides, both the for and the against, which is that the for are saying that irrespective whether they are fit, because by your definition, you did mention that those who are unable, meaning that there is a deficiency somewhere, is the reason why they are taking up that option
of surrogacy.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
an
correct.
option
Yeah.
put forward. Treatments, several treatments, stages of treatments have taken place, and there is no headway. And then maybe the last resort would then be if I don't want to adopt and I want something. We're still going to touch that aspect, right? But is it that people are now beginning to abuse that process? Because somebody says, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, but because I want to keep my banging body. Okay, so let's use the local parlance language and everything. It says, I want to keep my banging body. And for that reason, I am going to opt for surrogacy.
No, sorry.
And
Okay.
they are, do you think is ideal? Because I don't
But
want to
before
say-
you answer
you
the
wanted to
question, before you answer the question, is that
Yes.
even a consideration that you do it just not because you have to, but because you want to? Should it
Thank
be a
you very much. You know, the conversation has been going on, and
Yes.
of course, we're aware. I know the influencer because it got to me. And the minute it came out, it was sent to me, and
can imagine.
we had a whole conversation around it. And some of my orgas in the space of taking interviews like this, to answer questions, pertinent questions about this. Is this right? Is this acceptable? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about myself that you may not know today.
Okay.
Other than the fact that I'm the director of MedBarn agency that takes care of that space of surrogacy, for patients and clinics alike. I'm also the second vice president of the Association for Fertility and Reproductive Health.
Okay.
And the Association for Fertility and Reproductive Health is the organization body that self-regulates itself for its members. So we have our guidelines that we follow.
Okay.
To be able to practice assisted reproductive technology,
makes
which
sense.
offers
Makes sense.
surrogacy services.
Makes sense.
Okay? So I am well aware of this, what do you call it? Because it really, really went viral. And
It was a hot topic. Yes.
Discussion around it.
Very hot topic.
So we as an association, so let me wear my association cap.
Okay.
As an association, do not offer surrogacy because you don't want to change your banging body, or you're too posh to push, or you just don't feel like getting pregnant. It is not an option for any of our members. Okay. So if someone is doing it, they're probably either not a member of the association and just, doing it because they want to make money off of it, or I don't know how to answer that question. We don't do it for cosmetics reasons. Okay. We do it because it's medically necessary.
Okay.
And so, for those who want banging bodies, it's either you want to keep your banging body, or you just say, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to have babies. Because I was very, very much irritated by that, by the way. And I'm just being very civil, not to mention names on.
It's okay. We know.
Yeah, because again, it abuses the process.
Yes.
It's an abuse of the process. And one thing that I'd like to also ask again is, are there standard regulatory, maybe policies regulating this in Nigeria, Africa, as a whole?
Okay, so let's keep it to Nigeria because, Africa is kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, as of today, there are no legislations on surrogacy. However, there are some legislators that have put forward some bills recently and to be able to actually regulate and guide the surrogacy practice. But as the association, the Association for Fertility and Reproductive Health, we are trying our best to actually help and guide the draft of that bill so that it will be all encompassing. There is no way you're talking about surrogacy that you will not talk about ART, because the only way you can achieve a successful surrogacy process is through ART, assisted reproductive technology. Exactly. So we're working with them to have an all-encompassing bill draft that talks about assisted reproductive technology and surrogacy being one of it. So it'd be a sub of that, because ART. We have a lot of charlatans, quacks out there claiming to be doing what professionals do, but they're not. They're just doing whatever they like. So we feel everything should be, together, as opposed to just isolating the surrogacy bill. I mean, there's so many meetings going on. We've volunteered ourselves, nationally. We've been to Senate. We've been to everywhere that we're available. We're here with the professionals. In fact, we're happy that this conversation is coming up. We're happy it's coming up because it is something that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed as quickly as possible.
Exactly. And speaking to, let's even step back a bit to something you mentioned earlier about the altruistic nature of it and talk about the pecuniary benefits. We said the implication is that for some people who engage in surrogacy, especially the gestational variety of it, we understand. I mean, we've heard the stories online where you have people who are probably from less privileged backgrounds who do it as a sort of commercial enterprise. So is that still in line with the ethical position?
Okay, that's a
On
very
surrogacy?
good question, because you're now thinking when you engage a surrogate, a gestational carrier, we call them,
Yes. Okay.
and with our peculiar environment, yes, they're doing it for a reason. However, don't forget that there's no amount of money you pay them that would actually compensate what they're doing, because the surrogacy process itself, pregnancy process itself, childbirth itself, it's unquantifiable.
Yeah.
So you can't even put a price tag to that process. The least you can do is make them comfortable while they're going through the process.
Okay.
Because there's no amount of money. So when you say you don't want it to be commercialized, if there's money, then, it loses this hope.
Yes,
Do you just want to have them go through it and just, hands off and say, oh, well, they're doing it because they're kind. It doesn't, you understand what I mean? It doesn't add up. So
That's a high price to
the
pay.
act of doing it
Yeah.
itself, it's altruistic, because they have so many other ways they can use to make money, to be honest.
But I don't think. Okay, so I've heard someone say she's going to do it for someone. Like she was approached to do it for someone, and she was willing to do it because she needed
For free?
funds
Oh, she needed funds. Okay.
to start business.
Okay.
And she felt that she could just, take it up maybe a couple of millions. And then when she's done, she could, and I had to sit her down and explain, like, this is not something you want to do just because it's commercial. And we have people doing that now, not because they love the people in question, but because, the economy is seriously biting hard, and they feel like the quickest way to get out of it, or to even have, you go to banks, you want to take a double-digit loans staring at you, 30%, 35% interest rate based on the MPR rates that we currently have now, and you go for other means and the rates are even double. You fall back to friends and family. They turn back and tell you, I don't have anything. And so you go, okay, let me go and look for a job to even see if I can put things together. The payments, the wages are very minute. And someone says, okay, at least I can do this if I'm approached, and that could give me the necessary amount of money. And people are doing this. It's a known fact. At least I have experienced somebody telling me, I'm going to do this because I'm like, no, you can't. And I basically just talked her out of it.
May I ask why you talked her out of it? Because that's what I do. So I know people are doing it.
Yeah, for me,
Exactly.
For me, I just think it's not right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not right. Not because you have the notion of wanting to do itself. It's not.
So
it's not right.
I'll play the devil's advocate here and say, what makes it not right? The person has a need and also has a means of providing a service to fulfill that need.
I think for me,
which both parties agree to. So what is the wrongness in that?
Okay, so for me, first of all, I just feel that it is not a process that you should do to raise just because you want to raise resources.
Okay.
First, one of the reasons.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
Do you think it's okay for me to donate blood to someone that needs it? to save their life.
In fact, me, I've even stopped donating blood.
Oh, you used to.
Yes.
You used
yes,
to.
I have. And I'm going to explain that because, yes, I used to, but I stopped.
Okay.
And why did I stop? As the fact that our last born had a kidney failure, one of the teaching hospitals, and needed blood. And the resources were there, but we couldn't make the transfer almost immediately, right? And the fact is, knowing that the patient is there and the insistence on wanting to get the alert for that to procure first before he can be treated, for me, defeats that purpose. At the end of the day, we lost the child, right?
Dear.
Yeah, we lost him. And I began to question myself. People are constantly advised to donate blood to save lives. Right? I know that these bloods are treated and banked, so there is resources going into that. But when it then becomes that, when a patient is in dire need of that blood, which may have been donated willingly by people in the society, then the first thing for that medical facility should have been that first, let's find a way to use that blood to save the life first, as against insisting on the commercial aspect of it. I don't know. I still want the people who insist we must get payments first, even when you know that these persons are capable of offsetting the bills, even when you know that from the medical records, deposits have been made, you don't have issues with them paying, and then because of 1 inch or just something isn't working appropriately, you insist. I think that is not humanly enough. And I find it very irritating and disgusting. In fact, the way I'm talking now, I feel very pained about it, right? So we have medical facilities or medical management, as I would put it for now, do these over time. I think that when people are in dire need, it should be something like as small as a blood can be transfused, and then the bills can then be discussed later on. And if it's the payments are made, and you can use other means when the payments are not made to seek for payments, legal means to insist on getting your payments at the end of the day, right? But you cannot insist on saying without payment, we're not going to release blood. So basically for me, that's the reason why I have chosen, based on that experience, to say, you know what? If the blood is going to kill me, let me just die and go. If it's too much in my bloodstream, no problem.
You know,
I'll find a way. You understand? So that's one, right? Okay, so let's just so that we don't deviate. But another thing for my friend, and I hope that she doesn't even see this particular episode. You know, basically said to me that she was going to do it, and it was for financial reasons. And I told her, no, you can't do it. The reason why, first, I thought it wasn't right that you're doing it for the wrong reasons, which is raising money.
Yeah,
how much is the money?
Now?
And I know we discussed that when I got to know, and we sorted that out. But the other thing is, I was looking at the adverse effect. Hey, come on, this is Africa. And we know the maternal mortality rates. Huge. And any small error can lead to, God forbid.
Death, it's one of the risks.
Yeah. So the risk is too high for when you compare, you're putting your life at risk compared to what you think you would gain
Can I ask you a question again? And I'm sorry about your brother.
No, it's fine. We're interacting.
No, I just wanted to say I'm sorry about your brother.
Thank you.
I really don't want to go that route. I just wanted to liken blood donation to surrogacy, to maybe not literally save someone's life, but to actually, because most of what this couples go through, it's more psychological.
Actually.
You don't see it, but it kills them. It's actually, they're dying, but you don't know because it's not showing physically on them.
Yeah.
Once they rub powder and put makeup, you think they're
Everything
normal,
is
but
good. Yes.
psychologically
It's killing them
they're
inside,
down.
yeah.
So that's that. The other thing I wanted to say about the risks involved in surrogacy, yes, death is one of them, but it's 0.00000 something. It's not high.
Okay.
Okay. I've been in this space for more than 2 decades. Knock on wood. I don't have any
Good.
fatal
Good.
incidents now.
Wow.
Okay. Now, the closest that I've had is to have a complete hysterectomy due to bleeding
Okay.
that couldn't stop, and they had to save her life.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to emphasize to you is that if you want to do surrogacy and you go to the right place, make sure that you're engaging a hospital or a clinic or a fertility center that will put your health as priority. The life of a surrogate is more important than the baby she's carrying.
Right.
You can quote me.
Okay.
Because once she's going through that process, everything has to be put in place to make sure she comes out alive and well. And any surrogate that goes through the process must have gone through childbirth successfully without any complications.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a baseline requirement.
Oh, right,
If you
right.
have not been pregnant or delivered a baby, live
can't.
birth successfully without any complications, you cannot qualify to be a surrogate.
Which takes me to the next question.
Okay.
So, can anyone be a surrogate?
No, not anyone.
No,
can
well,
be a
okay.
surrogate.
Anyone that fulfills this eligibility requirement.
There's so many
Age-wise.
people that show up, they want to be a surrogate, but they're disqualified for one reason or the other.
Okay.
Health
Okay.
is number one, because you have to be healthy
Healthy,
to be able to be able to go through pregnancy. And you have to have had a successful pregnancy and delivered a
Delivered,
child,
okay.
at least a child, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
Okay? So we know that you've gone through the process and you understand what the process is like. And because of the risk involved as well, we don't want a situation where you have someone that hasn't been pregnant and they're going through it and you don't know how to explain. Nobody knows how to explain pregnancy. You cannot.
It's something you must experience.
you must
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
it,
Yeah.
including childbirth. No matter how you
yes.
go through these classes that explains to you how it's going to be, it's never the same when you're living through it. So it's always very good to have someone that has been through the process before.
So let's talk about the psychological effects on the intending parents themselves. Like, okay, so you decided you want to, in fact, let's talk about it on both ends. So first the surrogate and then or the gestational carrier.
Yes.
Let me use the medical term.
Feeling like she's feeling like she's there. Nah.
Yeah. Well,
it will take you.
we're educating
You
years.
said it now. We are here to educate.
It will take you years. Don't worry. Don't feel like.
So for the intending parents now, you know, they've made this, should I say, difficult decision?
Very difficult
Decision
yes.
that, okay, we can't do this. We need to have a third party involved. What are the psychological implications from your experience on these people, and then also on the surrogates?
First one is, how did they even sleep? Knowing that.
Yeah.
It's
a very long way.
Oh, let's get it.
Okay, so
so
like I said, it's not something that the doctor just spring on you. You would have been going through some processes, and by the time you get to that point where the doctor is saying you need to use a surrogate, even you yourself as a patient already is probably thinking in that direction that this might be my last option to have a go at it.
Okay.
And so by the time the doctor is telling you, consider this, you're going through some counseling, you're going through some psychological preparation.
Okay.
They're going to tell you the pros and cons, the possibility at the extreme end. So don't just look at the positivity. You need to consider the negative aspect of it. And this is a chance that an intending parent will be willing to take. Otherwise, it's like taking a chance, at having a successful outcome. And it may not always come out the way we want it.
Sure.
So what am I saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying a surrogate might not get pregnant.
Okay.
A surrogate might get pregnant and miscarry in the first trimester,
Yeah.
second trimester,
Calendar
stillbirth. All those things are
Yeah,
possibilities.
still possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the surrogate, if she falls sick during pregnancy, she has to go to the hospital and they have to take care of her. That's additional expenses. The surrogate might go into preterm labor, the baby's going in the incubator. That's additional financial expenses, emotional expenses.
I can't imagine.
Because, then you're wondering, are they going to survive or are they
Exactly.
going to die? After investing all this financial and emotional weight.
Yes.
So, and
It's a
to
lot.
the surrogate as well,
a lot.
she has to go through all the counseling, psychological evaluation, the legal aspect as well for both of them. They have to understand what they're signing. They have to understand the requirements. They have to understand what they're required to do
Yeah.
and every step of the way. And that is why we at MedBond do what we do best. That's where we do what we do best, because we are the eyes and the ears of the intending parent, and we
Okay.
also make sure that the surrogates, which are the gestational carriers, are well taken care of while they're going through the process.
I know this is not on the screen. I know Emmanuel has been itching to ask questions.
Yes,
Just a
yes.
quick question, very quick. This is just out of curiosity.
Okay,
Sorry, Emmanuel.
okay. Yeah,
so
no,
just
no,
indulge
fine.
me. So, do you have any algorithms for matching surrogates with intending parents? Just off the
This tech people.
Well, okay. So I wouldn't particularly say they're algorithms, because it's basically the same for patient A, B, C, D, or E.
Okay.
We just need to make sure that the surrogate that we're engaging for this intending parents have the same parameters that would successfully allow them to carry pregnancy successfully to term and have a good delivery.
Okay.
And also be
Fair enough.
emotionally and psychologically stable.
Oh, I know
Let's
what you mean. All
just
right.
imagine that you have surrogate A who has successfully delivered the baby, and after 2 months, she comes very close to the family home and peeping, wanting to see whether the baby is crying or not.
Somebody has been watching soap operas.
and then going back home and coming and then stalking the parents.
Okay.
So what I'm driving at is basically wanting to take the child back or not willing to release. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll find out. Release the baby to the family.
Very good questions. I mean, yeah, you've been watching movies, which is fine. But on a more serious note, we don't encourage known surrogates, family members, things like we don't encourage it. Why? Because of things like this.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so in the future, things happen. Okay?
You just never know.
You just never know. I can tell you 1,001 stories of surrogacy gone bad because the family member that carried the child is coming back to say, after all,
Exactly.
I was the one that carried this child. So I want to lay claim. This is what happens, especially in our community. Okay? Some people really want to do it because they, love their family member and they want to be of help because they know they're trying to complete their family out of their good heart. They have very good intentions, but you just never know. 20, 25 years, 30 years down the line, something happens. Maybe the person already had a child and something happens to the child, or, some freak accident happens. And then she's looking back at that one that, well, after all, I, helped carry the, you understand, things like that come up. So what we do as an association is that we try as much as possible to limit the exposure to the intending parents. And that's why we do what we do.
Okay. I'm going to ask a follow-up question.
Because they always come back.
Just pardon me. It's out of curiosity. I know the producer is sending me.
Producer is going to have your head, but carry on.
So, can you be a surrogate? As a surrogate, for instance, you have intending parents somewhere. Is it allowed that the surrogate is not known to the family?
Yes, it's allowed.
Is allowed.
Yes, it's allowed.
Are you thinking about it now?
No. I'm just asking.
It's allowed, but it's optional.
Yeah.
So if you are an
in
intending parent and you tell me, Biola, I really want to know my surrogate. I want to interact with her. I want to put her in my boys' quarters so I can, give her the beautiful whatever.
Oh, okay.
But I will warn you that once you start having issues, don't come back to me.
Yeah, because
That's your own indemnity.
Yeah, because again, it helps resolve the issue of, I know these people that can easily walk up
What
to
if
them.
what if that person becomes the president of Nigeria
Exactly.
and then say,
Say,
he owes me, and then takes to social media and say, by the way, that child, I was not that carried. You know what I mean?
Yes, and we've seen a few of those actually.
It
And
happens.
they get quite very messy.
It happens.
Yes, sir. Do you have any questions?
Oh yes.
Okay. It's okay.
Sure. I have tons of questions on it.
Okay.
So in terms of so let's now look at we've talked about, things about the ethical considerations, the financial. Let's even talk about the societal acceptance of it. We mentioned in the beginning that the African society, or let's even say the Nigerian society generally, has this skeptical approach towards people who take up surrogacy. We have some famous examples of people who came out and said, this is what I did, and all that. So in your own experience now, based on the over 2 decades of experience that you have with this, what would you say is the best approach from an educational perspective, for people who are forced to take on surrogacy as an option, and how they deal with the feedback or the, should I say, clapbacks from society? Should it be seen as a bad thing, or it should just be seen as something normal? So maybe the question is really around acceptance now.
Okay, so it is, whether we like it or not, it is part of the society. What we're doing now is creating awareness. And it's part of what we have to keep doing so that people can understand that surrogacy is not a crime, it's not a sin, it's not a taboo, it's not illegal, it's just a form of treatment.
Okay.
If my sister is suffering from infertility, would I advise her to just let it go or explore treatment options? You understand?
Yes.
Yes. I also want to emphasize to everyone out there that are thinking surrogacy is not proper, whether it's for religious reasons or for ethical reasons. Surrogacy is a form of treatment for infertility. It's a treatment option. It is done globally. It is widely acceptable. There are guidelines, there are ethical factors put in place. If it's done by the right person or the right practitioner, it is good. It is almost risk-free. And please, if you are an intending surrogate out there that is planning to do this, make sure that you get the right practitioner, clinic, expert that would help you and guide you and take your best interest at heart. It is very important because we have a lot of so-called clinics out there that can exploit. And we also have a lot of surrogates out there that are exploiting.
Actually.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
That's
So
the
tell
dark
us
side
more.
of it.
Oh, yes. Or you have some surrogates because they want to cash in. They would go and do a cycle here and make sure that the bleed comes at a certain time after they've collected a certain amount of money
Wow.
and go to the next place and go to the next place and go to the next place.
Wow.
So within our small community,
hustle is real.
so now another thing I need to tell you about myself is that I chair the Fertility Support Professionals Association of Nigeria. That's another association that actually house people like me and what I do.
Okay.
And it's actually expanded into, we have multifaceted professionals like lawyers, fertility lawyers, advocates, people that takes care of adoption and things like that. So we're actually a very broad, group of people, but the majority are organizations that offer surrogacy services like this. So we do exchange notes, and yes, there are bad surrogates out there, plenty. And that's the reason why the selection process for us when we're trying to screen surrogates is very important. Very, very important.
So do you have something like a data bank where you cross-check, for example, if somebody's volunteering? What?
I'm clapping.
No.
Okay.
About 6 years ago, when I was still in full-time paid employment, working with a fertility clinic in Lagos here.
Okay.
I don't want to mention it because if I mention the name, you will know. I mean, not in a bad way, but I just like to keep it quiet like that. I worked there for 14 years, by the way, before I decided to do this. I realized that
Like the career.
That's massive loyalty there.
So I realized very quickly, because I was the one screening the donors on the surrogate, that this database is necessary while I was working. And I started to develop one.
Oh,
And I have developed one.
nice.
It's called the Quive app. And now I have started to campaign about this app to my colleagues, my ogas, and everybody that has a clinic that are actually offering services and donors and surrogacy. They've accepted it, quote unquote. They thought it was a good idea. But the use of it is just about to start because we're now realizing that there's a problem. We need to adopt this app so we can save the donors from themselves and save the surrogates from themselves.
Yeah, I think it
It's
will.
necessary.
Yeah, it's a very,
very
very necessary. And just to put it on camera, that we're willing to support you in terms of the awareness drive.
And thanks for the
your app.
initiative. It's an awesome
Thank you.
initiative.
Yes, it is because
It
again,
is.
we need to protect people because again, any vices, I would personally kick against it, where people just feel like it's not a baby factory.
Exactly.
For crying out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly. Yeah.
these things are crazy. So having a database where you can easily just cross-check,
Yes.
a database that is clean,
Yes.
and then you
authentic,
just go in and check
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
oh, we've seen you.
We'll just
oh,
check.
Exactly. Yes.
see.
We know you've been
We
here.
know
You've
you-
done so many times.
Yes.
Because some will lie. They come. I mean, I've seen so many. You have. Let's just use a donor for instance, because it's quite quick. They go through the
They
donor
just go
program.
through,
The next month, instead of them to rest, they go to another
Yeah.
clinic and say, oh, so I can make. They turn it into a business.
business.
Yes.
Then I had a donor show up and said, have you ever donated? Say, no, I've never donated. And I put in the probe. Probe means the ultrasound thing that, I'm a medical sonographer, by the way. I do
wow.
ultrasounds
Yeah.
as well. And then I see
Many
that
hats, though.
the ovaries are just freshly retrieved. I'm like, I thought you said you've never donated before. Your ovaries are active. You just went through retrieval. That's when the conference was. But then that is when you see one that is active.
That
What
is-
if
yeah.
she's donated 10 times and she's
10
telling you she's never donated? That's one of the reasons
And that's
why
this
the
is important.
database
Yes,
was
it's
given
really
birth to.
important. And
Yeah.
once again, thanks for that.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
an
it's
awesome
amazing
initiative.
and wonderful.
So, guys, that's your chakam.
Yeah. So I know we've talked on so many things, but there is this nagging question I have in my mind. We have people donating surrogates to intending families, Abby. So my question is, are there no chances that these kids can find themselves date and marry?
Okay.
That's one. Secondly, maybe first of all, you have someone you took the option of a surrogacy, and then eventually something changed within your biological system, and then you now give birth to your own child. Again, how is that? Is there also not going to be something like affection for one than the other? I don't know if this really clarifies my question.
Okay, let me take that question again.
yes.
So you're talking about if an intending parent
Yes.
opted to use a surrogate
Yes.
and have a successful outcome, have
Yes.
a baby, and somehow
They
fate
were able to
smiled on you because you now have a child, all your disrupted system now balanced, and you got pregnant and have another child.
Yes.
Will it affect whether you love the one you gave birth to more than the... I've never seen it because it's happened. It's happened.
They won't come to you to tell you that this is what is happening in the family, or the kids then come back and say, okay, nobody.
Okay, so
how do you?
let me give you an example very close to home. I had a patient that adopted a child. She didn't use a surrogate. She adopted a child, a daughter. And then several years later, she decided, because the daughter now was nagging her to have siblings. And of course, she's come of age. She couldn't use her own eggs, neither could she carry.
Okay.
She decided to use a surrogate, and she was able to have more children through a surrogate, using donor egg with her husband's sperm.
Okay.
She didn't love that child any less. In fact, that adopted child is the one that calls the shots in the house.
So
Whatever she wants.
Nollywood lied.
is what-
Sorry. So Nollywood lied to us.
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter. See, and that is what I always tell. I said, in my experience,
Exactly.
the most, yes, I have concerns from intending parents that says, oh, would I be able to bond with this child because I wasn't the one that carried the baby? See, the minute that child gets into their hand, you just see tears rolling down.
Wow.
Not tears of hurt, but tears of joy.
Joy.
That, so me, I
I'm a
can
parent.
carry a child
That's
that
a
I
smile.
call
That's a
my
smile.
own.
Okay.
It's always, the love is unquantifiable.
Okay.
Remove sentiment. I've seen it day in, day out. And I still get feedback from my intending parents that, hey, thank you for doing what you do.
Wow.
Thank you for making sure that, you know,
Yeah.
my
This
marriage
happened.
didn't go on the rocks, or, you know, it's the joy is just enormous. It's even more than when you have your own baby, because when you sleep, wake up pregnant, deliver your own baby, you feel like, okay, I've gone through that one is like, so it's ever gonna happen. So this can happen. So that's the feeling that they get. So in fact, spoil is an overstatement.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at
Yeah.
the second aspect of the question.
Which
I
is
don't
the
know
legal Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
illegal? Is the intermarriage, right?
Okay,
Yes,
now
yeah.
that one now is not about the surrogate. Okay, it's about the egg donor or the sperm donor.
Okay.
So when you talk about donor, you're talking about either the sperm or the egg.
Okay.
So you have men that are donating, just
Yes.
spreading the wealth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so these kids now will come and may marry each other. It's,
Like a
it's
particular
consequent.
tech entrepreneur.
So this is the reason why we, Association for Fertility and Reproductive Health, has self-regulated ourselves in that way and say, if you're an egg donor, you cannot donate more than 6 times in your lifetime. And that's also the global standard.
The 6 times is not even much.
Okay, so out of that 6 times, you don't get pregnant all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Assisted reproductive technology is assisted.
Okay.
At the time the embryo is getting into the womb, it's all in God's hands. You cannot take. I don't care how much of an expert you are, or you've been in the field for 30, 40 years, you cannot tell which embryo is going to make it.
So assisted.
So out of that 6 times, maybe if the patient is lucky, they may have 2 kids.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the reason why the maximum cap is left at 6.
Six.
Okay.
So, but it does happen. The ratio is just that the ratio.
And
is
you
very-
can even get pregnant all the 6 times, right? It's a possibility. But we're saying 6, that's it, max. Because you have your own child now. At some point.
I mean, yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? So that reduces the probability and the chances. I mean, the world has shrunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really shrunk. So we can't say, oh, the person that used the egg is living in Canada. The likelihood of coming together is slim. No, because people move around a lot these days. Okay? So in order to reduce that risk is the reason why there's a cap on the number of times you can donate. The same way you track the egg donor, you track the sperm donor. In fact, the sperm cases became a big problem in the Western world because the men were just donating and donating and donating and donating and donating, and you have one man. And because they have a registry that you can actually go back to trace, the people, that donated, or you can even go and trace your father or whoever donated sperm. And you have one man that gave birth to like 100 babies. But yeah, we have some men that married multiple wives that have 100 babies too. I mean, you understand? But at least that one is in a family setting where everybody knows each other. Okay.
Families like that need their own app.
Yeah. So these are the things that, I mean, and the world started from Adam andEve, and then
Exactly.
you start to
Which
wonder,
was technically,
are we not all families?
Yeah,
after
I mean, technically. So, I mean, if you want to, yeah, exactly.
So anyway, but on a lighter note,
But I can't
that's
be
the
related
reason.
to this guy, please.
Why? Because I'm Dudu and you're Pupa. Nah. Okay.
Well, it happens. You have different colors in the family. Maybe someone takes a recessive gene, and you have Dudu and Pupa in that same lineage. Yeah, it's
No,
possible.
but we can't. We can't
I
be
have
from
questions.
The same family. We can't be from the same family.
I have
She's too
questions, but
stubborn.
we'll take it offline. So let's now, before as we wrap up, let's now talk about the legal implications for the intending parents and for the surrogates. What are the protections in place for both parties?
Okay, thank you very much for that question, because it's a very critical aspect of surrogacy, the legal aspect of it. So once an intending parents show an indication to go through the treatment using a surrogate, they usually have to get legal counsel, either independently or through, the agency that is helping to source for their surrogate. But as a matter of good practice, the agency that is sourcing for the surrogate must and have to engage a lawyer for the surrogate so that she can understand all the legal implications, what she's supposed to do, what the intending parents is supposed to do, what the agency is supposed to do, what the clinic is supposed to do. If anything goes wrong, what's supposed to happen. All those things are spelled out,
Okay.
in order to have everybody on the same page.
All right.
Now, can the surrogate sue the intending parent? Yes, why not?
Okay.
But for what?
Maybe-
Because if you're using an agency and not going through, maybe a direct transaction, let me use that word.
Yes, of course.
There is no way you will be deprived of whatever you have been promised.
Okay. So there's that protection.
There's that protection
Okay.
there.
Okay.
If you decide to go to do it directly, maybe, I'm doing it for my cousin, and my cousin has promised to give me X amount of money, and there's no proper documentation. It's just a gentleman's agreement.
And then you renege at the end of the day. And then
It happens.
I can say, okay, you know what? I'm going.
No,
to
it happens. It does happen. Then what? What basis do you have? Do you understand?
There's no basis to your point.
Exactly. So, but for using an agency, if you're a surrogate and you're using an agency, you can rest assured that whatever is due to you will be given to you. In fact, they would give you more because we encourage them to do more if they can. Some people sell everything they have
Wow.
to go through this process.
Wow.
And some people treat their surrogate, other than the ones they've promised, they still do more. So the surrogates are happy doing what they're doing.
Do they keep contact with the surrogates even after the expiration?
They keep contact with us.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever communication I still have some intending or parents now, don't let me say intending parents, because they're now parents that send money to their surrogates even years after
Wow.
through
Wow.
us.
Wow. And speaking of money, what's the financial implication?
It's just gift, like, oh, I'm looking at my children, I'm very happy. I
Okay.
want to appreciate what the surrogate has
So
done.
so
for
we're
me.
looking at give and take so you've been in this this journey. I won't call it trade or
journey.
business.
Yeah.
It's been a journey for decades. For instance, is there an estimate as to maybe an average to
Baba
say
wants
for-
to know how much it will cost.
Oh,
No, it's just
the fee to take care of the
Yes,
surrogate.
to say
Even
also to commence
embark on
the
the whole
process,
process.
the entire
Okay,
process.
so
Just
let me
an
say,
average,
if you were a patient going through treatment,
Yes.
I would say that you should be budgeting in the ballpark of between 16 to 20 million.
That's about
That's give or take, because some surrogates, they don't cough during pregnancy. They just go through it seamlessly. And some are in and out of the hospital. They go in, they come back, they go in, they come.
Oh, so it depends on
It
how
depends. And then
easy
if
it
the
is for
kids
this,
or the
yeah.
baby or the babies come prematurely, that's another expenses that has to be tagged on that you don't envisage. So that's the reason why I say
Okay, so it's
budget that.
yeah, between 15 to 20 million. That's naira, right?
Yes, naira.
Okay, so you break it down to USD.
But
That's
abroad, you're talking about $500,000.
Yo.
yeah, I think 20 million would be like how many $1,000?
That's chump
Well, 20
change.
million is like maybe 13,000 or
13 to
14,000
It's
USD,
small
give or
money,
take.
yeah.
Give or take.
Okay, so I just want a wider audience to fully understand.
And that's the reason why, in Africa,
In
in
Nigeria,
Nigeria,
yeah.
it's, when especially our patients from diaspora, when they come, and they do come because it's unaffordable there,
yeah.
and they desire to complete their
desire-
family,
yeah,
so they
exactly.
come home to,
to get this.
do the
Do that.
treatment.
Wow.
All right. I think we've touched base on all the free set, but this conversation is not going. We're not just going to conclude on these. I think
not
there are other
over.
aspects of it that might want to look into. And behind the cameras, we have secured her approval to be back on set.
Definitely, I will be back.
Sometime soon.
Like I said, I belong to so many, I wear so many hats, but the one I'm talking about today is the Association for Fertility and Reproductive Health. We do have an open house coming up in September 23rd to be exact, at Oriental. This is the first of its kind. The association is opening up its doors to the general public to come and ask questions about assisted reproductive technology, which includes surrogacy, the topic that we have talked about exclusively today. Come one, come all. It's free, but you have to register. And you can actually get the link on our Instagram handle. It's AFRH Open House, or you can go to the website of AFRH, and that's afrhnigeria.org. You will find the link. Please click on it and register. It takes 1 minute to register, and then we'll look forward to having you. I will be there to answer your questions.
Thank you. And from me, it's always keep your options open. Make sure you do the right research and make sure you get the right diagnosis before going to surrogacy. From me, Lola, it's see you next time.
Surrogacy is not for commerce. Right? And I think that people who want to do surrogacy should have the genuine need for it. And it shouldn't be because you want to keep your banging body. We really don't care. But let's keep our society clean, safe, and healthy for everyone to live. And let's make this society a better place. That you have the platform doesn't mean you have to use your mouth in the way and manner you choose to. My name is Emmanuel, and from all of us, I want to say a big thank you for staying by and watching this podcast to this moment. It is our commitment to you that would always bring you the most educative topics and would inspire you and to have an elevated living. From all of us, I want to say a big thank you. My name is Emmanuel. See you on the next episode. Bye
And from
for
Lola,
now.
it's bye for now.
Bye.